Amber Dawn.
Oh,
Thank you,
hey,
Amber.
nice to meet you.
Hi.
Nice to see your face to the name on YouTube.
That's me, Amber D.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
How you been, Trina?
Oh, working. I just got in the door a little bit ago and I went and cleaned a house today and I'm allergic to cats and she rescued 6 kittens. So
Oh, no.
I've been sneezing.
Oh, we're live, everybody.
Oh my God, I've been a train wreck. So I'm like,
Hello, everybody. Welcome
Sorry.
to another day in the Milky Way.
I don't think we're live yet.
Yes,
Are we
we
Yeah,
are.
we're live. It says
Hello,
live.
we're live.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Much love.
Welcome to another day in the Milky Way, as Brian would always say. And today we got Trina, we got Steve, and we got Amber. And we're going to say a big hello and welcome to Miss Amber Dawn. She is going to do a card reading for us today. And it's my slowness that I've been trying to... I had some issues come up just before the show, but we're winging it. I'm driving the bus, and it's all good. Now, here's what's going to go on. Amber is going to pull a card for the collective for everybody today. And then after she pulls the card and she reads it, that will be her thing. And you can say or do something, whatever you want. And then we're going to go back to the regular show. But if everybody enjoys this, we plan to do this on a regular basis. Now, she's the first one that said she'd do it. So I'm really happy that that's working out. And I'm glad that she made the time to come. But if other people want to come and read cards, because I know everybody's got a different deck. And so the different cards are going to work out good. Now, today was it yesterday? Yesterday, I found out that my neighbor, the lovely lady, if she's out there, I'm waving, hey, she reads cards and she's telling me about cards and she's going to teach me about cards. And she's going to teach me about all kinds of stuff because she's an empath. She sees spirits and she, knows about everything. She's even farther ahead than wow. Trina, you and her would get along really good. I mean,
probably.
Oh my God. I mean, the stuff she said, she talks just like you.
If you've been on this road for about 20 years, you will find a strong commonality in our language and in our behaviors for a lot of people that have been on this path for, a couple decades or more.
Oh yeah. Exactly. So
just like the saying, be the frequency you want to receive. And now look, you've got your neighbor on the same frequency.
Bring it in.
She was telling me that she grew up in a family where they all did this. Her mom does this, her grandmother did this, and so she was brought up believing in this. And so it's a lineage. It isn't just, hey, I discovered this stuff and yada 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 and here I am, I'm just winging it. She's been brought up with, hey, I see spirits, and mother said, yep, you do. Good.
So do I.
Awesome.
You see what I'm saying? Instead of, what are you saying? You see it. Shut up. Go back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. Or looked at like you're crazy, right?
Yeah, I know that's, when I was a kid, I see something in the closet. Shut up. Go back to bed.
You know what's funny? Because I had both dichotomies going on at the same time. Because the first time it was ever completely couldn't be brushed under the carpet, because I used to see stuff all the time and it was always oh, it's just your imagination, knock it off, whatever. Mm-hmm. But my babysitter, who was our family, one of my mom and dad's best friends, their son, he was one of my only babysitters, and he passed away on a motorcycle accident when I was 10 years old and he was 18. And I saw him in my house 3 months after he passed away, and I freaked out. And my mom, when she came home, she could not calm me down on that one. And that was the first time she goes, just knock it off, Trina. She's like, I saw him too. And I was like,
You're all me, knock it off.
Who saw you? And she's like, knock it off, drop it. You're freaking out your brothers and sisters. I was like, okay. But yeah, that was the first time I literally got full blown acknowledgement that I was not the only one. Because my brother and sister, they'd see stuff too, because we lived on a haunted thing going on. So there was stuff
Sounds like
going on
fun.
a lot. But when that happened and my babysitter and I literally saw him full manifest, like he didn't look totally solid, but pretty close to solid. And I'd never seen that before. It was the first person I loved that died. And when I saw him standing there, I freaked out so bad. And my mom was like, just knock it off. She's like, but I saw him too. And I was like, whoa. So that was really good confirmation when I was a kid to know that other people saw this stuff too.
Yeah.
But they didn't like to talk about it though, at all. Like at all. They were
It's
like, just
scary.
shut
It
up
can be
about it.
scary.
Yeah, they were like, just shut up about it. You know, like, fine, we'll acknowledge it, but we're not going to talk about that.
Like Sasquatch, right?
Yeah, they were like, no. You know.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
so let's get that card reading.
yeah, the Amber, you're up.
Okay. So when you guys were talking, I was shuffling and 3 cards pulled out. I'll make it fast.
Yep.
The first card is the star.
Right on. Take
Second
your time,
card.
Amber. Take your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take your
I
time.
think it. Yeah.
Second card is the tower reversed. I don't know if you can see that. Third card is the 7 of Wands reversed. So what I see out of this is that the star, we are the star. We are the center of the universe. Each and every one of us, all of us are black holes. We all have this incredible potential. And when we use that potential, the tower that typically would go down, it would be, shocking and everything. But the tower reverse to me with the star says that when you utilize that power, that we will no longer have these massive shakings of reality or of circumstances. The 7 of Wands reversed means that we will, if we let our light shine, we allow the everything to manifest the way that it's supposed to be, then the 7 of Wands reversed is we will not have any more pushback. Everything is going to fall into place as long as we follow our inner, whatever we're here to do. We all have this inkling of what we are supposed to do here, but we just don't have the confidence to go forth in it sometimes. And so as long as you follow your intuition and your guides and your gut and your heart, then everything is going to fall into place just the way it's supposed to be, no matter what is happening around you. And that's what I get from this reading.
Wonderful. Love it.
Yeah. Very good. Very
That was
good.
awesome.
That was
Feels
very good.
appropriate.
That was
Yes.
perfectly in line with what I think we are and what we're capable of. Thank you.
Yeah, and just following your gut, following that heart in your gut. When we're so insecure and the whole world is telling us, like we were just talking about, is you don't see that, or maybe you do, but we have to keep it hush hush. Like, no, we need to be that so that other people can have the confidence to be that part of themselves that we're come here to be, because we don't want to keep recycling back into this realm. We want to evolve, and the only way to do that is to be that, to be what we know in our heart to be. So if you feel like you want to succeed in something and you want to move forward in something and you're just scared, being scared is a very good sign that you're on the right path.
Absolutely.
Scared and fear are 2 different things, right?
Fear, scared, I mean, it all kind of hits the gut in the same type of way.
I was just ribbing you. This sounds excellent. I agree.
That's right. That sets the mood for the thing, and I think everybody, like that. That was very good. I mean, you did a good
Beautiful.
job. I like it.
Just as beautiful as Amber herself.
That's
Beautiful
right.
message.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, will you join us next time?
I would love
I know we
to.
have- Okay, great. Okay, well, thank you very much, and we're gonna go back to the show, and thank you for coming.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Now
We
everybody
appreciate
go-
what we receive.
I just want to say, everybody, go to Amber's channel and check her out, subscribe, whatever. She's got some nice videos. Sometimes she puts some really good stuff on there.
Thank
So-
you, Amber.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Much love.
Bye.
Thank you.
I love it.
That was
good.
awesome.
That was good.
Mhm.
Okay, now it's all you guys.
Oh, and then there were three. Boom,
Then-
boom,
then there
boom.
were- I'm driving the bus. Anyhow,
Get off the
I
damn
seen-
horn.
That's I know. I just got some bad news from the guy who come over with the crowbar to was chasing my dog because his cats attacked it, and over in a shop next door. But it was kind of the fake thing, you know. How do I put that? Things happen for a reason. So the guy that came over was a diesel mechanic, right? And I says, well, you're a diesel mechanic, eh? You know? So he says, yeah. And I says, well, I got this problem with my truck. And I start talking to him. Next thing you know, he tells me, oh, your turbo might be blown. And we open the hood and he looks in there and he says, yep, you shouldn't drive this truck. You'll blow it up. I says, huh, well, maybe I should change the turbo. I says, I got another one. And I showed him. He says, well, looks in there. He says, that one's got a little oil in it too. That one ain't no good either.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that's what I said. Oh, shoot. So,
Aren't they like $900?
oh, yeah, they're not cheap.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Mhm.
think I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Taking that turbo off, ordering another one, and hopefully I have it soon.
I
Oh
just
my
put a
gosh.
timing chain in a car, so I
Yeah.
feel you.
Yeah, I've put a lot of timing chains in cars, but the turbo is a whole different animal, especially where that Ford turbo is. I had to buy a bunch of special tools to get in back there, and
Hard to access or what?
it took me all day.
Really?
Yeah, I started on one day and it took me the whole next day. This one, now that I got it down and I know what I'm doing, it shouldn't be so bad, but it's going to be an all-day project to change that turbo. Not a good thing.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, thank God though, Robert, that you can do it, because if you couldn't do it, you'd be looking at a lot more money.
Lots
Oh,
of
well. According to
Yeah.
that guy, he says if I keep driving the truck the way it is, he says that oil leak will go into my motor and then I'd have a runaway motor. And at that point, it'll blow up and then I got nothing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, huh, good to know.
It's kind of amazing how, you know, somebody with that kind of information can come up to you and explain to you your situation to prevent a very bad situation
Yeah.
coming in the very near future, because you didn't know.
Yeah.
So
just
now you know,
I-
and you can protect it and repair it. But yeah, coming
I
up with
knew-
a crowbar.
Yeah, I knew there was something wrong with the turbo, because when I put it on, it ran really good. My truck, man, you hit the gas and it just like jolt you forward, you know. It's like, man, I just did something really amazing. And now it's like it's a dog. It's a real dog.
Yep. Yep.
So, well, there you go. That's my thing. So my question is this in the moon and the stars and in the numbers? Steve, you're good at that numbers thing. What is our numbers?
I've been seeing the 333 just over and over and over the last few days. I mean, a lot more than I usually do.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't really look for it. People, you know, tend to think that me seeing it all the time, I look for it, but I don't. I got proof of it. I got it on my receipt. I just went to the Menards yesterday. 333. I was there when I was checking out in aisle 3. You know,
Oh my God. Hang on.
Stuff like
You
that
just
all
hang
the
on.
time.
Talk about that receipt for a second. Oh crap. That was something. Hang on. I got a thing. I got a receipt. Hang on. I got a receipt.
oh, here we go.
I've been seeing numbers a lot too, Steve, lately. But it's weird. I've been seeing a lot of 555, 55.
Oh,
Been seeing that over and over.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Okay. We're back.
He sounds excited.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Where is this? Okay. I'm gonna hold this up. I hope you can see it. Okay, let's try this. You see the price?
Or what is it?
Uh,
Go again.
Yep.
What does it say?
333, 333, 333, 333.
What did you buy that were $3.33 a piece?
Unsweetened tea.
Oh, how funny. 333.
And I looked at that and I said, 333, 333. Holy shit.
You know what
Oh,
333 means?
Okay, that's what you're here for.
God thrice great.
Yeah.
The three, it speaks to the threefold nature of our being because we're threefold within the three within the three. We're three cubed is what we are.
Yep.
So was that a good sign or a bad sign?
That's a good sign. It's
Woo!
all
I'm
encompassing number. That 9 is a completion number, you know?
Yeah.
Do you think too, Steve, that that's the representation of our trifold aspect within our heart flame?
Yeah, it's what do you mean heart plane? What do you mean by
Heart flame, the trifold flame of the heart flame of the crystal in the heart. 'Cause
Yeah.
I see our heart is like a magnetic crystal because it's multidimensional. So yeah, I see that being a part of the construct of our heart, and I see that trinity in the chambers of our heart as well. I think that's our key code.
Yeah, in physical reality, I've come to realize that the threefold nature or the triune of nature is, you know, the Father, Mother, Son, you know, that whole setup, and it's played out on every level. And when Amber earlier said that we're black holes, you know, early in my journey in 2016 or so, I was on the sky watching, you know, thing, and I think that's part of the journey for a lot of us. And we had a meeting with a couple of people from online. We actually got together, and Cindy had said, and I just learned about black holes and how the trapezium open star cluster is said to be a black hole in the Orion Nebula, you know, and that's the brightest spot in Orion Nebula is the where, you know, the trapezium is. And the trapezium open star cluster has 5 stars in it, and the top one is a binary. But anyway, their shape is a cross. Now, when she said that we were a black hole, or the Cindy, when we had that meeting, brought to me my attention. She said, "What if our hearts are miniature black holes connected to the singularities of all things?" And just recently meeting Phil, the first thing he said to me was, "You have to find the center of all things." The center of all things is when our heart, our mind are married. And for us, we define the center of our being because we are just fractals of the whole being, you know?
Yeah. Have you done any information or looked at anything on the Cat's Eye Nebula in the Orion constellation?
No.
Okay, well, apparently there's a Cat's Eye Nebula inside of that, and it's got 9 planets, which is our binary code system, 9, 0 through 9. And it's the eye, and it's a cat's eye. Cat's eyes are always known as protection, watchers, you know what I mean? The cat's eye and everything with the pineal gland and the all-seeing eye. And it's in that same area of our space. Something about that, Steve. I'm like, I thought I had to tell you about that.
I'll
Something
take
about
a look.
this.
I was watching that earlier on your premiere. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm getting that information. And it's like, I keep hearing, tell this to Steve, because he'll figure this out. Because I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to understand with this yet. There's something big there. And I think it has something to do with a black hole and a Stargate. And from what they're saying is that this Cat's Eye Nebula is the point of the nebula is like the true north of our system, our literal solar system. They're saying that's the point in our system that's literally timeless. because it's the center point. So this Cat's Eye Nebula, if
Oh,
it's
really?
the central point and everything is going
Like
around
the
it.
North Star is to us.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to figure this out. I was like, Steve, help me figure this out because there's
I
something
wonder
to
if that
this.
has something to do with the 19-degree tilt of the solar system and
You're onto something with that because I literally kept seeing the number 19 associated with it, which is interesting. And
you
that's
know what all that is, though. What all that is, the numbers 555, all of it, all these synchronicities that everybody sees, and it's going to be different for each one of us, don't you? You know, for each one of us, we're going to have a different path to the one because that's the point. You know, that's the point. That's what makes God personal, or the path of narrow gate, or you know, the path to light is narrow and tread usually alone. You know, I mean, but we're not really truly alone. So the most we can do as people on the path is just share our experience and hope people, you know, grab onto that so they start defining their own, you know, and that's
like you said, I think we can't ever understand the fullness of creation, but each of us can grab our own point of perspective of it and share that with each other, and we can expand and grow together through that knowledge of the expansion of grasping those different signals from creator. Because I think it's about vibration, and you receive that which you can perceive, and that's based on your ability to tune that dial to those different frequencies. So we're all getting different pieces based on our frequency.
as long as you don't turn into the little blue Smurfs up in my neighborhood. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But yeah,
Blue Smurfs.
right. Everybody likes blue Smurfs.
So yeah, I keep getting something about pay attention to the unicorn, the whale, and the lion, and Pegasus. So I know that Pegasus is a gland in the brain. That's Pegasus, and that's near the Orion constellation in Virgo too, I believe, in the stars. So there's
Did you ever
something.
look at Danny Wilton's work?
No, Who's that? Oh, that sounds
What led
interesting.
me to this Orion thing was one day I sun gazed in December of 2017,
Mhm.
2017, or maybe it was 17, and I sun gazed on December 15th, and that's said to be some gateway time that were lined up with Orion. But anyway, I sun gazed, and the very next day I had the urge to go look at the Black Hole Sun video of, and I thought, because I was having an argument with somebody saying it was Kurt Cobain who did it, but it was another guy who killed himself, you know, Soundgarden or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that led me to Danny Wilton because I typed in Black Hole Sun and I went to Danny Wilton stuff, and lo and behold, this is what started my journey actually to where I'm at today, why I'm talking to you guys about, you know, and Trina, I think we can all know the ineffable, because we are all the same. I mean, we're all one, you know, and
Yeah,
that our
fractals,
higher
the
self
fractals
is one
of the
thing.
whole.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Danny Wilton, he made me realize about the trapezium open star cluster and Orion, and all the ancient cultures have venerated Orion, you know, and especially Egypt, and even the Hopi Indians did.
Absolutely. And you know, it's so funny. And it seems to me, it's like the more I start to get different pieces of this information, the thing that keeps blowing my mind is etymology and the roots of the words. Now, see, when I hear trapezium, that's trap.
Yes, but what is this world?
Trap. But I think that's only if you're still under the spell of the illusion.
Well,
So
if
I
you're in
think,
the car, stars and bars, right?
yeah. So once you realize what this is, I mean, I think we put so much into, you know, ascension and how do we know if we've got there? I literally think it's that easy. It's consciousness. Once you realize that you're more than just your human body, that means you've broken through the first layer of the matrix. Once you identify with soul and spirit, and you know that you're more, you've broken through the first layer of the trinity of the matrix that we're in. But then you have to get through the causal, mental, etherical, and astral levels of your being, your energetic being bodies. And you need to be able to get through that identification and perspective to get to the next plane, which would be the cosmic or the galactic awareness. And that's where most of us are getting to in this community. And I've always been shown that we were three layers deep in consciousness. Somehow we're under amnesia 3 deep. So once you break layer 1, you got to break layer 2 and get to layer 3. But I see once you get to the cosmic galactic awareness, which many of us in this community are already at that position. I think that's when you actually do have the ability to get out of the trap. And maybe we're looking at the exit point might be going through the eye. Because think about, in the eye of a nebula would be a black hole.
Well, the
The
eye is
pupil of the eye of God.
everything that spins, everything that a drain ends up into an eye. You know, eye of a hurricane, everything.
Everything, because everything is spirals. Have you noticed that? Everything is Torah vibrational spirals, pulling and pushing energy. One's pulling and one's pushing. So it's all this.
In and out, in and out.
Yeah.
Right, and the mechanics of the whole geometry of our existence, of the inside and the outside, is a toroidal structure and a hyperboloid structure.
And think
So
about
the
it. None of it would work without, because it's all about breath. I give you life. That's your push and pull.
Right.
In and out, in and
I got
out.
5 buzz in my head because I'm in the
Oh,
truck.
do you? Yeah. We can't see it.
I need
Oh,
my
he's
Corona beer.
hungry.
Right. So, Robert,
Yes.
what's your take on all this?
My take is that you're right. Something's going on. But I got a question for you. There's all these comets coming by. How does that affect the way all these things circulate? Like, you know, you got the zodiac and you got the planets and you got all this stuff going on. When these comets are coming in, does that upset the balance?
Well, it
Yes.
can, because we're in a natural system, right? I mean, that's the whole thing about a natural system. It's indifferent to us. The whole creation, our creation here, is indifferent to us because it's an automatic thing. You know, we're living in Lucifer's world, you know, meaning not literally the devil, but it's indifferent to us. We're going to die. We're born to die.
Yes.
And we have to face that right away when we realize that we're decay in the making, you know. And what better place for a soul experience to learn that you're way more than that, faced with the inevitable end of your physicalness, you know, your physicality. I mean, it's quite a contrast, and I think that's what life is. And you know, to go back to your comment thing, I think, you know, it's an ebb and flow of the cosmos, just like anything else in our world. And
I think it's a part of evolution in all actuality, because I think that might be one of the ways where the gods actually seed the planets. Because when a comet or an asteroid comes in from another interstellar place,
it brings a coronavirus.
Exactly. And what I'm seeing is endobacterial.
Mm-hmm.
It's an introduction, or it's a new species coming in to a planetary petri dish, basically. So it does have a potential to literally create all new life. So I see that might be one of the ways where actually planets actually get seeded.
We're called star seeds for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's a lot to that.
Now, I don't know much about all that cosmic zodiac stuff like you guys do, but I do know history, and history says that, that during a passover of a comet, it's been recorded that there's plagues, things change, and this is you know, the facts. And like you said,
harbingers is what you're saying.
Yeah, they're harbingers,
Yes.
but you could look at them either way. I mean, just because the poles are melting, now the Sahara is all green. So did it wreck something, or did it create something? People don't look at it like that. They're saying, "Oh my God, the polar bears ain't, you know, they're going to have no place to live because the you know, the climate change." But did anybody think? But now you just created a whole bunch of new land in the Sahara Desert that's going to have lakes, grasslands. The giraffes are going to come back, the elephants, and you're going to have, you know, 10 times the amount of land that we could actually use versus the North Pole that you can't do anything with.
Right. I think everything is as it should be, Robert.
Well, yeah.
You know, and I think you're spot on with that. That it's just like everything else in our reality, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
the end of one thing is the beginning of another. That's what Shiva is in the Hindu tradition. You know, the destroyer and the creator. You know, and that's
Don't
why
you
Shiva,
notice that all of this, though, all of this has serpent. All of it goes back to serpent wisdom, serpent draconian. When you talk Orion, Syrian, you're again going draconian. This is all Draco, serpent. Even the Native Americans, Quetzalcoatl, Yaldabaoth, feathered serpent, the Dogons, Asian, all of it. It's all dragon. It's all serpent in the garden, Adam and Eve. So what I keep realizing is that this is a serpent-based construct. It's in every religion. It's one of the oldest symbologies that we see throughout any religion across any part of the world. People who never talked, never saw each other, all have this serpent foundation. When I started to realize that this was an illusion and that this potentially was a holographic projection, when you think about it from that level, that means that this is a holographic projection or basically a dream. This means that we are sleeping or we are unaware or we are in trance or we are in an amnesia state. So through that, this nightshade, which would be the veil gives you the shadow. The veil is the dream time. So it says, I give you a greater light and I give you a lesser light. The day star rules the day, and then the night star rules the night. And the night star would be the land of shadows. That would be where we're at now. So this means that when we wake up, we return to the daylight. We return to our wakeful state. So when I realized that potentially this is a puppet, and that I'm animating it from some remote location, probably in a spaceship somewhere or on another planet, sleeping in stasis, like they talk about the sleeping giants. When I started to postulate these questions in my mind, I literally had the epiphany that I was trapped in this matrix due to my belief in my body. So that my body was the ultimate false idol worship on this planet. And that was the soul trap. And that was related to the Jesus trap. Because if you think a man in human flesh could ever be God, you are out of your mind. No, God could never be put in a package. God can be expressed through a human being, but it can't hold the property of the creator itself. It would blow that body up in a done.
Different things.
Yeah, it's a fractal. It's, we all can have mastery level. We've had masters, Buddha, Jesus, all these beautiful, wise, intelligent, beautiful beings. But when I started to putting the false idol stuff together with the flesh, and then I literally realized that the Jesus thing was a way to stay in the reincarnation loop, because it was the worship of a human body, the worship of man. And if you worship man and you worship your flesh and your body, that's your biggest way to get brought right back into the cycle of reincarnation. And when I kind of put that together, I was really upset, and it kind of blew my whole reality away, because the Lord and Jesus, I had them kind of in my mind, kind of twisted up like a pretzel. I didn't know what was what, because religion versus my own personal relationship that I'd been experiencing since I was 3 years old. So this was kind of confusing, because when I saw his picture on a wall, I'd never been to church. I was like, how do you know him? So that was confusing when I was 3. And then, so I come to find out that the body might be the biggest. If you think you're your body, you're going to probably get recycled. So I'm like, okay, if this is what's trapping me, man, I'll drop this body, not out of sadness, not out of scared, not out of grief, not out of hate for it, out of, if I could figure out that I could get free, if I could drop my body, I was like, I'll drop my body right now. And I'm like, my spirit's like, no, they're like, no, don't you dare. And I'm like, I'm not sad. I'm like, but if this is what's trapping me, I am brave enough to let it go. And then that night I woke up with that dream about cutting myself out of the belly of a serpent. And I'm cutting myself out of this huge mammoth snake. And literally the Lord was there because helping me get myself that's asleep. And it was like in a coma. It couldn't wake up. So I was like, this thing's sleeping and we're pulling her out. And then I realized it was me when I finally saw the face. I was like, oh my God, it's me. So I cut myself out of the serpent because I was understanding that the physical complex is an illusion. It's an illusion. It's a very beautiful, powerful illusion, but nonetheless an illusion. And so when we cut myself out of the snake and I told the Lord, I says, this is wrong. Fix this now. I said, take her to the Father. And when I said that, he like scooped her up and he started walking towards light. This bright light opened up and he walked with her into this light. And I'm like standing there with this knife and snake gut goo all over me. And I'm in this canyon still, and I'm not waking up from the dream yet. So I'm like, why am I still here? What's going on? I'm completely confused. What is happening? And then I heard this voice of 1,000 voices say, my child, you have now been set free from the watery grave of which you have slept. My child, you are now free from the bondage of the serpent, and I know it is in regard to our flesh. So, like I said, deep gnosis that I received a long time ago, about 10, 15 years ago, and that was such a profound vision. It's one of those ones where it feels like it happened 10 minutes ago. It just won't leave the mind. And that was a powerful, powerful piece of information, I think, for all of us to realize that somehow, some way, this reality that we're sitting in is strongly bound to and is bound and controlled by serpent energy. So each of us have to figure that out our own way. But something's very important with the serpent and bondage and replication. So
You've said a lot, mouthful, and to be serpent wise is to be of the serpent race, which is to be knowledgeable, and that's why Anunnaki are tied to the reptilian or to the serpent, and that means that you're risen above the creation cycle. That's what serpent wise means. And the reason why serpent wise is because when the pineal gland opens up and you look at it from the top down, it looks like a serpent's mouth open up like the mitre head of the Pope, you know? And
yep.
and the whole watery thing is because everything in the cosmos is considered that's why maritime law is maritime law, because, you know, that's why it's the going for universal law, is because the waters of noon is the primal chaos, ocean of chaos that is our microwave background, you know?
You know what's funny too, Steve, is right before I came into that gnosis about that whole, when I had the serpent dream and I was like, this body, if it's trapping me, I will drop it. You know, about 3 to 5 years before that was when I really found out about how money worked too. And I realized sovereignty and all that stuff. So that took me down a rabbit hole for over almost 3 years straight, about 12 to 15 hours a day, trying to disprove it. So that was a conundrum when I came into that gnosis. And I think all of those pieces about understanding that everything that we think is one way is actually operating a different way. I think that's powerful for us to find.
What's the opposite or the contrast of something?
Nothing.
No thing.
Yeah,
Now,
nothing.
in zero dimension and timeless space is our true state, or pleroma, or heaven, you know, from what I've gathered. And the fact that the infinite dwells in the finite, that's good word salad right there. Infinite, infinite, you know, it says the whole thing, because in us is the ineffable spirit of the creation itself. And when we come to terms with understanding, you know, that's why at the top of the Sephirotic tree, it's wisdom, or knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Yes.
You know, that's the top of the tree. And when we understand, we shine like diamonds in the field of clay, you know, or twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Yeah,
And
because that's when we understand thine will be done.
right, and
Get
to
it.
know thyself and be still is to know the center of all things in our stillness in the middle of motion, because that's what we're dealing with in a constant, our minds are constantly racing in motion. And
Absolutely.
and the biggest lesson I've learned of what you just stated is Jesus was not a man, and if he was, he was a hell of a man. But Jesus
Yeah.
is not is a creative principle, or the thing in which we recreate in union with God. It's the light itself.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
the
That's,
ideal, not
yeah,
the person.
that's what I mean. The Jesus trap is the man part of it. It's like
Right. The fleshly part,
energy.
yes.
Yeah, the energy
You're,
and
you're
the
spot on with that.
wisdom.
That's tied to the ego, to the devil, to the
Yeah,
cars and
the
cars. Yes.
energy of the Christ within and the
Yes.
Christos, when your third eye opens
Right.
and you get divine gnosis, that is the Jesus people are trying to capture, but it's not about a man, it's about an activation within you. And this was what he always taught. He was pointing at the trifold flame within the heart, and he was always saying, the kingdom is within you, and the ultimate principle is to know thyself, because when you know thyself, you know you're part of the whole, you're part of creation itself as a fractal of it. That's the true Jesus, which he always told me,
What
because
does
I
pyramid
never
mean?
called him Jesus, it was always the Lord, and everybody else would just say Lord, and he would answer. So he always told me Jesus means he is us. He is
Right.
us. It's in you. It's he is us. So you can choose to walk as a Christ, or you can choose not to be activated, and that's okay.
What
But
you're talking about is the Luciferian doctrine, the following your money energy, the things that are tangible, that are of the senses.
idols,
Yes,
idols, idols,
also
idols.
those, correct. That's spot on. And that, you think about the Egyptian sarcophagi, when a pharaoh was put in one, the imagery on the outside had their arms crossed over their heart, and they had a crook and a flail.
Yep.
And the crook, the shepherd's crook, was the Jesus aspect of the light, and the flail was the indifferent Luciferian aspect of our creation. And you can choose to walk in either side. You can walk the dark, you can walk the light. The emerald tablets speak the same thing. You can be of the dark, you can be of the light, and neither one is either bad or good in the long run, because we're all going to get to the one source anyway.
Correct.
you know
Right. It's experience. We're experiencing in a land of duality for a God that wanted to experience itself. So it separated and it created dual aspects. But I do think something happened, and we got brought down into densities of matter. That wasn't originally part of the, whole thing, but when it did happen, it was allowed to continue, because I do think through going through this kind of a deception and an illusion, and to be able to find your way through it is kind of like being forged through fire. And because I always ask the Lord, I says, why didn't you just destroy it all? Because this place can be a mess. You know what I mean? It's got a lot of really dark things in it. And like the stuff with the kids and all that, I was like, why don't you just destroy it all? And he said, because through this, like it's like we're the ultimate detectives. Like not much slips past us, because we're always looking at things going, we're questioning things, and we're always looking at things. And that's a certain kind of energy. And it's not about not having trust. It's about having wisdom to know that you do need to use discernment. So through us being so tricked and being able to find our way through the discernment, that would create a new species of like an earth angel, because the earth part of you is how you learned all the discernment.
that's the Anunnaki. That's what Anunnaki means, a sky father on earth.
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
a lot of people think that there was aliens on Mars, and a couple of people I know have recently hinted to me that they think that a lot of us were seeded from Mars.
I
And
do too, Steve. I do. I truly do believe that. And that the only reason I can say that is because back in 1993, I had some scientists and they were showing me the pyramids on Mars and the canals and the evidence that there was massive civilizations there. And, you know, back in the 90s, man, nobody was talking about this stuff. And I was like, whoa,
Right.
you know what I mean? And then, you know, they were talking to me about the Mars program and they were telling me that, you know, over 500,000 people were currently already living on Mars and that this was a reseeding of the planet because we had destroyed it with the War of the Gods. And they literally told me that this was destroyed nuclear. So Mars, I'm pretty sure was our first humanoid of this kind of body we have now, this kind of body. I think Mars is where it actually might have come from. And it makes sense because think about it. Mars is the red planet of conflict and war and passion and love. And think about it. Adam means red.
Right. Right. Totally right. And, you know, you think everybody says that we're in the Matrix. You just kind of alluded to that, right?
Yeah.
And what is Matrix to you?
A web of creation.
It's a
held
womb.
into a
Yep. It's a
specific
womb,
band
a place
of
of
energy field. It's like,
a matrix is a place of womb, a place of gestation, a
correct.
place of development, or, you know, and that's where we are as far as souls. And the individualism of each of us is just an aspect of the whole, you know. And when we realize that we can coexist and hear somebody else's opinion without getting angry, and that's been a big lesson for me. You know, that's getting your devil in the back seat and saying, step aside, ego, because, you know, I'm gonna let the flow happen. And as we get closer to our true self, which is God, you know, and everybody hates that word God, but, you know, I say source is God, God is source. When we get closer to that in the vibrational resonance, like you're saying, I think synchronicities increase. And it's because our field is that source, God. Everything is God.
You're aligning to it. And that's what I mean. Your antenna is tuned in.
Right. Brian's last podcast was turn on, tune in, you know, that right there.
And you know what else too, Steve? Remember I told you I keep seeing 5-5. You know, his number count on how many videos he did was 55. It stopped at 55.
Way.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And then when I was looking at his baby photos, 55 was on the baby pictures on a little shirt that he wore when he was a kid. He keeps showing me that this is his like number 55. So when we see that, no, that's Brian winking at us because that's like his number.
Right. Or he just couldn't drive 55.
Right.
Or as I look down, there's 33 in chat. You know, and
wow, look at yeah. See,
man.
Brian, and then 33. It's like, yeah, it's all good. I'm wearing my Milky Way Messenger shirt tonight.
That is awesome. I seen that. I was gonna get mine out, and I just didn't have time with all the confusion. And I got my 5G kills shirt tonight.
I love it. I love it. It's awesome, Robert.
Yeah.
Okay, now what we were just talking about is loving it forward without intent or extraction thereof. You're not expecting any love back or anything in return when you're in your truest capacity of love, right?
Yeah.
Now, people are going to hate me for saying this, but the whole mask issue, you know, I wanted to clear this up because I don't think anybody followed me on this. I wear a mask because I'm maybe asymptomatic. If it's real, whatever, it doesn't matter, because a mask doesn't define who I am. It doesn't make me lesser of a person. It doesn't put me in a seat. It doesn't make me some part of some ritual that is defacing my inner being, who I am. Nobody can hold me down with a mask. Now, if that mask is going to save somebody's life that I don't know, I'm going to do it. That's why I say it's a spiritual thing, this whole thing, you know, because it's so confusing. Even the doctors don't know what it is.
When this first came out, literally, I started seeing how this is like a full-blown attack of our senses and our body. I saw that the first attack started with the elderly people and the dementia, with telling them to stop taking in cholesterol and low-fat diets, which dried up their brains and made them all get dementia. And then I saw the children get sick, and I saw the autism start to go through the roof, which is the solar plexus, and through the stomach, the destruction of their stomach, they can't communicate and they can't speak. So then I see that, and then when you look at that, this V thing, the number one symptom is you can't smell or taste. So this is an attack on another part of our
That's something I
senses.
didn't even fathom until you just said it.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh my God. And then they're putting on the mask, which is the final assault, because that is Adam could not rise until God breathed forth into his nostrils. And then through the breath of life, Adam rose. If we don't get proper oxygen, it causes brain death.
Wait, hey, to add to that, what was George Floyd's thing? I can't breathe.
That's what I'm saying. This is and this is so much bigger. That's why I'm kind of trying to say we got to stand against this, because this is only because of the fact that, like, when you go see your grandma and you know that they can possibly get hurt, or a brand new baby, people should be really careful with that. And I would mask up, wash hands, alcohol. You know, you got to protect people like that. But for normal people, no way, man. Have you seen Sturgis right now?
Right.
There's 450,000 bikers, and not one of them is wearing a mask. Not one, because they will not comply to this occult. Because this isn't about a virus, Steve.
I don't see that.
About
I don't see it like
they're
that.
taking our senses away.
I think you're letting your vibration take a left turn there, Trina.
Well,
No, I see it. It's an attack on our literal senses. They want you to this, they want this. The next thing is touch. And touch is about the social distancing. We have to see this from a bigger picture. Look at all the pieces and look at what's been happening to the physical bodies of our human species, and it becomes very clear what's happening. This is the highest occult ritual I've seen done on us as a human species in a very long time.
Can I agree to disagree with everybody?
Yeah, I'll agree to disagree.
Absolutely.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, I agree with Trina. I think she's right, but I also agree with you, Steve, that if you want to wear masks, that's fine, and you will protect people to a certain extent. But my question too, it goes back to Trina there. She's got a point that, you know, first it's not. They say no, then they say yes, then they say no, and then, well, okay, fine. You're wearing a mask. You're protecting other people. Fine. And it doesn't kill you to wear a mask.
No.
It does it does do the things that Trina said it does.
Well, how does it serve any ritual purpose or occult purpose is what I can't fathom.
Well, you just nailed it with the George Floyd. I can't breathe. That's it's all together.
We're working ourselves in a corner with our planet and the way we throw our garbage in the freaking ocean and shit is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You know, we're like cockroaches.
Yes.
So what do you do when you got cockroaches? You're going to naturally try to get rid of them. And so what is Earth doing to naturally get rid of the cockroaches? Throwing anything it can at us and forcing us to reevaluate. And it's changing every aspect of our life. You're right about that. Yeah. And it's making us reevaluate what life is. Because it's not a treadmill for work. It's not about elites having the 1% and everybody else having nothing. It's not about that. People don't want to work their life away for nothing. You know, it's making all of that come to light. All of it. Every tension, every aspect of our human psyche is coming to light right now, because first of all, we have time to think about it. We're not chasing the carrot, you know. Mm-hmm. Second of all, it needs to be done. We need to change, because what we're doing is just run. And thirdly, you may be onto something. The only aspect I can adhere to what you just said is the global economy was ready to tank, period. It was ready to go in the toilet.
Yep.
Now, every other aspect of our human nature has been ruled by money. So,
yeah. Well, okay. So here's what I think between the two. You're both right. the thing is
Right.
this virus came along, somebody hijacked it, and they're using it to their advantage. Now we all know that there's a lot of money to be made by wearing these masks. They're selling the crap out of it. And the other businesses, the big businesses, somehow it's okay to go to Walmart, but it's not okay to go to your gym or your restaurant or blah, 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 which makes no sense. Okay.
Big box stores. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go to that store, but you can't go to this store.
Yep.
That's where I'm saying something is fishy there. It's
money
all about the money. They're going to drive all the little guys out. They're taking it. They hijacked this. They're using it so people conform. Like Trina said, you conform to wearing the mask, even though you can justify it and say, okay, it's going to save grandma. I'll wear the mask. But in your head, you're saying, but nobody's really sick around me. I'm just going to the grocery store, but then when I walk out, everybody, and here's the bad part. And I do want to tell you this. I'm putting the word out now. I want to find somebody who is a nurse. I want them on here.
My wife.
Your wife is a nurse?
Yeah.
Good.
She's the head of nursing
There's
at a nursing home.
Martha.
Huh?
She's the head nurse at a nursing home.
Okay. I want somebody on, and I want to interview them and have them show me how to put a mask on properly and how to use it properly. Okay, here's what I did. I went to Walmart the other day, right? I looked at the guy. He says, we require you to have a mask. And I says, do you look like this face is going to wear a mask? He looks at me and I says, I'm not wearing a mask. He says, you can go in, sir.
Yeah.
And I walked in.
Yeah, they can't. Nobody can force you to do it.
Okay.
That's the point, Robert.
But here's the Buffalo thing. I walk in, pretty much everybody takes the guy and says, oh, I got to have a mask. And they go run to their truck and they put their mask on. Now I'm in the store and I'm a good observer. I may not be all psychic. I may not have this, but I'm an observer and a recorder. And I watched the people. Now I'm in the store.
Watch you?
Yeah, I'm sure they were watching me, but I stood far enough apart from a lot of guys that I'm just observing. As I'm pushing my cart around, I'm observing. And I watched some lady, got her mask on. She's got a sneeze. She pulls her mask down. Sneezes in her hands.
Oh.
Then she wipes her hair, puts her hair back. Then she takes her mask and puts it back on and puts it on like that. And then she goes back to stocking the shelf.
You don't live in Alabama by Brandy, do you? No.
Now,
Oh my
now
God.
here's the thing. Now watch other people. They're taking their mask off. One kid's in there and he's ripping his mask off. He said, Mom, I can't breathe. And he puts it back on and he's touching stuff. And he takes his mask. And some people got their mask under their nose. Some people take it off and talk to their friend. And they're, and then they put it back on. There's one girl in there and she was crying. And her boyfriend's hugging her. And she was on the phone. I watched her. She was on the phone. Something must have upset her, and she's crying. So now she's got her mask on, and her tears are running down her mask. And she's, how it happens when you're crying. She was crying hard, like making a scene almost. And the guy, he's got his arms around her, and she's crying. She's got her mask on. Now all that boogers and crap and stuff and tears are going in her mask, and she's still wearing it. Now all that's like a big dust mop. And it's just picking up germs. People are touching their masks. I don't know how many people touch their mask.
I totally agree with that.
Now, my
It's a
question,
petri dish.
yes. And then I left the store, okay? People take their mask off, roll it up, put it in their pocket, and walk away.
Like an old guy with a handkerchief that's blowing his nose all the time in it, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Now here's my big question, and maybe your wife, who's a nurse, she could answer this. Now, what's worse? I'm not wearing a mask, or if I wear a mask and I collect all that dust and germs, and I put it in my pocket like a deep petri dish, and I keep putting it on day after day.
But them germs on your hands, on surfaces, on things aren't airborne, and they're not going to get in your lungs. That's the viral count of when you get a respiratory infection and you breathe it in. That's from the aerosol spray from somebody. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm spitting all over the freaking computer here.
Yes, I agree. I agree
And
with
that's
you.
what the mask is for. It's to protect other people, not yourself.
I
You know,
agree.
just
but
from your spray, not from the bacteria or whatever, because you are going to excrete it if you're sick. You know, even if you're asymptomatic, you're going to
yeah.
excrete it.
So I agree with that. Now,
Yes.
me talking and spitting, yeah, that's normal. Everybody does that. And I know spit talkers. That's why I call them spit talkers. They get up right in your face and you're like, you know, okay, man, I'm done talking to you. That's gross. You just spit in my mouth pretty much. And anyway, they know who they are. The problem is, even if I don't get that virus, will I get something else because I've been using this mask and I don't know how to use it properly? So that's what I want to talk about one of these days. Maybe I'd love to interview your wife and have her actually take
Oh,
a mask
she never come on YouTube.
and just say, and go do a demonstration on how to put the mask on, how to use it properly. Because I don't believe that 90% of the people have no clue how to use
I
it.
totally agree with that.
There you go. There you go.
For me, none of that really matters. For me, all that I stop at is, what does it hurt for me to wear it? You know, I'm talking me personally.
Yes.
It doesn't hurt my psyche, and I just, you know, I said it all before, you know, and this is another way to drive division within ourselves.
Yes.
By adhering to one way or the other. I accept everybody for who says it's fake. You know, I may think it's fake. You know, for the money reasons. You know, so I mean, it doesn't. None of that matters to me, though. It's just I'll do it just to help somebody else. You know, and that's why I'll do it.
I agree. But,
and I'm not trying to be humble or self-righteous or anything.
No. I agree with you on that. You know,
and my wife's a director of nursing at a nursing home, and I don't want to kill. If it is real, I don't want to kill everybody in their nursing home.
I agree. but that's what I'm saying is I agree. But if you don't use it properly,
True.
Could you pick up the virus on your thing and actually spread it to more people? Or even if you don't get the virus, could you get like a respiratory infection, bacterial infection? You know, you're going to, and you know, you may use it properly, but the guy over there doesn't, and he's going to get, you know, and that guy, and that guy, and that guy, because they have
in December, in January, I had to go to the hospital because I couldn't breathe from having pneumonia or being sick from a respiratory infection.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I think this has been around for probably 3-4 months before they even said that.
Steve, I think you're right, because I think I got it too, and I got over it. And I was better by February 22nd, but I got it in the early part of February. Yeah.
And you know, the weirdest thing about all of this is, remember when I was going on about the cross alignment of the planets on January 13th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when all this sprung on us, you know?
Yeah.
And that was in the shape of a cross as well.
Yeah.
You know, and our creator is the cross. That's why there's a cross atop every church, you know? And the true church is us, and every church is built in the form of human, you know? So, I mean, is it coincidence? Is there such thing as coincidences? You know?
No, there is no coincidence. Like I said, if there was that virus already, and it's already been out here, they never shut the country down for a virus. They've never shut it down for a flu. I mean, the draconian measures they overtook on us, and not just us. This is the bad part. They did it throughout the whole world.
Do you guys know that right now they're saying that over 10,000 children are dying every 30 days right now in Africa, Australia, in these other regions because of the lockdowns? Australia, Melbourne yesterday, they went into level 4 lockdown again, which means they're only allowed out of their house for 1 hour of the day. And the cops, they said, are on steroids. They said they are being held prisoners. They can't go to get food. They cannot leave their residence. There are no stores open, no businesses open. And this is as of Melbourne. That was about 4 days ago. So pray for Australia. But do you think that this virus has caused the death of 10,000 children a month?
Not in Australia. There's only been 200 deaths in Australia total.
It's completely off the hook. Nobody's talking about this. All these kids are dying now because they're starving because their parents can't go to work. Why isn't anybody talking about the atrocities of that?
Yeah.
Well, the people. in
How many
Africa
more people are dying from the virus versus starvation?
Right.
Yeah.
I
Let's
totally
talk
agree.
about the real numbers of real death. It is not this virus. It's
Like-
starvation.
Like
And
like
it's happening with the kids
I
because of
said,
the lockdown.
somebody has hijacked this.
Oh,
Now you guys,
yeah.
you guys were talking about the serpent, and the serpent is
Yeah.
knowledge, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The
Now I
seed of
know
the serpent is the ego. Yes.
the ego. Okay. But then I know I watched Matthew LaCroix. You probably heard of him. He's wonderful.
Yeah.
He's wrote these books. I've read his
Brilliant.
books. Yeah, I'd love to get him on. He is just so smart. I love The Stage of
Absolutely.
Time and The Illusion of Us. Those were really good books. So if you guys ever read those or have a chance to, awesome.
I think I have one of his books. I haven't read it yet, but I do think I have one. He's an amazing. I
Yeah.
love his work.
Yeah.
Love it.
But here's the thing. You got the serpent, and the serpent's been around for a long time. And we could see that throughout history for, different cultures all around the world. But then he says there's the eagle. Now the eagle just popped up, I don't know when, but it popped up. Is there a battle out there between my lights are going crazy. Between the eagle.
You look cool. You got your hands out there.
Yeah. See if I put them down, maybe it'll go back. Yeah. Is there a battle between two different factions out there? Maybe, because if the ego is the serpent, right? Is that correct? Well, then what what is the eagle?
Well, the ego isn't the serpent; it's the seed of the serpent. Because you can think of knowledge used wrongly will lead
Yeah.
you down the wrong path. Knowledge used in the right manner leads you to the light.
Right. Yeah.
And that's everything is manifest first within us. That's the Kabbalah way of looking at it. And Kabbalah is Ka, which is physical, Ba, which is eternal spirit, and Allah is the whole, and that's the triune of God thrice great.
Yeah.
Because Allah is everything, and Ba is our true spirit, and Ka is our fake spirit, or our ego spirit, or our body spirit.
So is one being conquered by the other? Because like you were saying, throughout history, the serpent races, or the people who worship the serpents and knew all that stuff, now they're being conquered by the eagle, which is like a warring faction of that. And when the eagle takes over, it seems like things really fall apart. They use that knowledge and then they destroy the people in the long run. Whereas the serpent people survive for a long time.
The eagle in the United States, what is it, coat of arms or whatever they call
Yes.
it, the symbology.
Yes.
What is he holding? He's holding 13 arrows, right?
And the snake, yeah.
And the snake. So
Yes, the serpent.
so that is a symbol of God, is the eagle. Because the eagle is holding the 13, which is the 12 cranial nerves in the top of our head, with Jesus, the light in the middle, the pineal gland.
Yep.
And pyramid means fire in the middle.
Yep.
Eye in the triangle is the same thing, fire in the middle. And like Trina said, everything is through the eye, through the one eye, the cyclops. It wins the day. And that's what gets us there. And the serpent wise is knowing and understanding, so you don't shrink back into your shell when you experience the event. Because the event has been experienced. That's the bark of Ra. All throughout ages, that's the cross, the Templar's cross, the Maltese cross. That shape is the light itself, the pineal light. When you're in the abyss, in the darkness of your mind on the mountain, you turn around and you see that.
And even the caduceus, the serpent and the staff, and then it goes to the wings at the top.
At the wings, and the wings is what?
It's about the Christos. It's about the Christ within. And the serpent energies activate the eagle. So that's how you get your wings and you fly. And that's how you get to see. It's profound too, because a couple times in my visions, I've been turned into the eagle. And boy, I tell you what, there is something very powerful about the vision of the eagle, because it sees an infrared. And its eye is like a camera, because it can zoom. So
Right.
that's powerful to to think about that when you think about the power of the eye of the eagle and the power of the serpent. So all of it's about duality. I think when we master it is when we marry the two, the power of the serpent.
Make the two one again, correct. On
Yeah.
all levels, every level.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every level. And it's all manifest from within. Can I come in from the out now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's on, what's that movie? It's some cartoon movie. What was it called? Up? Or no, not Up. It's the one with the little alien.
I think it was Up. I think you might be right.
No,
Up
that's
was
the
with
guy
the
with
balloon.
the old
The
guy.
kid with the balloon was Up.
Yeah. That one was a
Yeah,
good
when
one,
I was
too.
the activities director, I used to show that movie. That was
I love that movie.
yeah.
Right
So
on.
the kids loved that movie, so I remember showing it quite a few times.
Yeah.
Right.
But I tell you what, you two just have so much knowledge. It boils over. I mean, I didn't get to say much because
I knew it was going to be fun talking to
I'm like,
Steve. I'm like,
wow, I learned more about that eagle and serpent today than I can
One
even
more
think
thing I
about.
can say about the eagle and the serpent thing is that it's showing you the triune of God
Yeah.
right there. Because it's
Yeah.
showing you that within us is the light that is attainable and created. See, we are creations of the creator that we create.
Mhm.
You know, the seed of the Bible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the serpent is the knowledge that to get you there, or the physicality of this world.
mhm.
yeah. Wow, our hour's gone by and then some.
I
But,
know. It went so
I know
fast.
I'm driving the bus. It was fun.
I had fun.
I know I had a little
really liked the
hardship.
conversation.
I wanted to apologize to everybody. Al was in the waiting room for the other thing. I just haven't figured out how to link the two together for the live stream. Steve, you probably know how to do that. You told me how to do that, and I should have. I don't know. Anyway.
Recently I've been having issues with this very same thing, man, where I'm
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
maybe because I'm overthinking it, because before I just make a meeting
yeah.
and then just do it, do the YouTube thing, and then the Google Calendar would sync them.
Oh yeah,
recently,
because
I've been-
I didn't do the Google Calendar because that kept screwing me up. Remember Trina the other week? I did.
Yeah, it was freaking stuff out.
Okay, so yeah, I quit doing that and I just sent everybody a link and it worked good. But I think what I got to do is I got to go on there and make sure I shut that other one off or something, because it's or something. I got to figure it out. I got to do. Never mind. But anyway, the point is, I'm sorry, people. We had a lot of good people in here. Al, Brandy Robinson, Truth in Me, Gemini Ascension, Dark Truth, Deborah Sloan, Karen Lynn, Milky's mom was here too. Brandy Robinson, Lucky Stone. I'm sorry, but Pure Love Ascension was here. Hello, everybody. Goodbye. We're going to have to say goodbye. Anybody else? You guys want to say last words?
Yeah, love outward, live inward. Nothing can phase us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Trina?
Be the frequency you want to receive, and Bosto, baby. That's how we're going to get it done.
Yes. Be the frequency you want to receive. That's the main thing. And I'm so happy that I can't find my cursor here to shut this down. I got to make sure. That's what it's all about, people. It is. Be the frequency you want to receive, not the one you want to be, not anything else. You want to receive. What you put out is what you're going to get back.
Nice word.
And you know what I think too? I think it's so important. It's like, Steve, how you said you've grown so much by learning that. We're all not going to see things the same way.
Right.
But man, that doesn't mean we should come against each other. That means we should give each other a little room and just honor and respect each other, because
or agree to disagree.
Yes.
Absolutely, because it's okay. Because like you said, everybody's here to experience a little bit of a different
It's not
perspective.
called a narrow gate for no reason, right?
Correct. and everybody's path is probably going to end up being exactly what they needed. So we need to know that it's okay, and that through our differences is where we're going to get the greatest gifts of gnosis of creation. It's because of all those differences, because no one of us could hold all of that information in our human mind. We need each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Good night, everybody. Be the frequency you want to receive. Shut this
Awesome.
down.